Welcome back to a new season of Mustang TV News. I'm Bryce Mayhew.
And I'm Kanan Shanks. MCHS's first student government election, the upcoming fall play, and more coming up now.
This fall, a thrilling new play will hit McCracken's Performing Arts Center, Trap.
Unlike any play done at McCracken before, Trap is a documentary and live-action style play about a tragic event that happened years ago at a theater in California. The characters will be based off of people who went to interview those affected by the tragedy. Veda Backus, the lead of the play, goes more into depth on what to expect.
And I play a detective who is like head of the case that's trying to figure out what happened. And it's a documentary style / horror, and we're basically showing like little clips of like people being interviewed with like what's going on and trying to figure it out.
The play will be showcased the 9th through the 11th this November at McCracken County Seaplant Auditorium, so be ready to get your tickets.
No one should ever feel like they are alone. During National Suicide Prevention Month, we want you to know that the school has resources to help you. The new crisis hotline posters are just one of the many helpful resources.
The posters can be found all around the school halls in both English and Spanish. Listed on these posters are 4 hotlines: the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, Child Prevention Hotline, National Human Trafficking Hotline, and National Domestic Violence Hotline. If you are experiencing any of those issues, please contact the numbers that match the issues you are going through.
You can always speak to your house counselors, a trusted staff member, or the therapist around the school if you don't feel comfortable contacting those hotlines. MCHS has introduced multiple new teachers this year, including new college and career coach Lisa Stevenson. Reporters Maddie Hayes and Mackenzie Wilcher learn more about her.
I've been in higher education for 38 years. The opportunity presented itself to move to McCracken County or apply for the position as college and career coach, and it appealed to me because it's time for me to slow down a little bit, but not totally retire. I want to be the go-to person for all students, not just juniors and seniors, but all students, to talk about their options after high school, whether that be going to the workforce, going to the military, going on to post-secondary education. I want to be that person that they go to first.
If you have any questions or want to know more about your career, you can contact Dr. Stevenson at her email or stop by her office at the top of the stairs going into House 1.
Marching band is a school activity that travels just like the football team, doing competitions and playing during halftime at football games. This year's marching band show is The Long Road Home. It's about Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. They started practicing at the end of July, getting through the music and working on their moves.
Marching band is awesome. I'm going on my 3rd year in marching band. We have practice 3 to 4 days a week. We have competitions every Saturday. We have football games almost every Friday. We go outside right after school and we practice until 5. It's long days. It's hard work, but it's really fun.
Okay.
You can go see their hard work pay off at their first competition on September 9th at James Matthews Stadium in Franklin County. The Student Government Association election results are in, and Thomas Powles has been elected as the new SGA president. He is a senior this year and has been a part of SGA since his sophomore year.
So I've always thought I've sort of had some really good leadership qualities, and I wanted to display them and be able to put them to good use. I ran for president because I thought that I could use my leadership qualities for the better good of McCracken, and I hope to just make McCracken a better place and make a lasting high school memory.
SGA applications are now open. QR codes are posted all around the school if you're wanting to join.
With the new school year starting, new rules and procedures regarding detention have also started.
Mustangs TV's Atlee Stanley shares the new system with you.
There are now 4 different types of detention meant to optimize the severity of consequences for rule breaking. First is lunch detention. You will go to Coach Jay Smith's room, 1410, and choose from 3 pre-prepared lunches. You spend the rest of your lunch eating in silence and working on schoolwork. Next, after-school detention is being implemented for breaking the cell phone policy or unexcused late arrivals. For an hour after school, you will report to the designated room by 2:15 and check in with the 21st Century Coordinator or designee. Then, you are to work on school assignments or other responsibilities while following the rules in place, such as no talking and no sleeping. Third, in-school detention or ISD is an entire school day. The only change there is the teacher. Dr. K. Hill is now in charge. Make sure you follow the rules and complete your assignments. Finally, Saturday school. You are expected to go to room 1207 by 9 a.m., and you will work independently until 11 a.m. As for why these changes occurred, Principal Matthew Hauser tells us it's all about keeping you in class, but also keeping the consequences of poor choices.
Honestly, the goal is not to punish, and some people see it as a punishment. The goal is to change the behavior. So if you have a lunch detention for being late to class, the hope is that you don't want lunch detention, so you're going to be on time to class.
Mr. Hauser also hopes with the new staff in charge of tracking tardies and more, detention will run smoothly. Meanwhile, students have mixed feelings.
Saturday school's a good idea because if you're going to be a brat, then you don't deserve to have a free Saturday. After school, I think it's too much because first off, everyone's trying to go home. And like me personally, I would have rehearsal after school.
I think that it is needed, and I think it's a good idea to do it during the middle of the day.
As for students who can't do Saturday school or after-school detention, you will be given a full day of ISD instead.
If you think you have lunch detention, an email is sent to teachers with a list of students. Just ask them.
Parking passes are now coming to McCracken County High School. Due to the heat, they postponed the assignments to this last school week. We talked to Mr. Hauser about why we started assigning the parking passes.
One of the main reasons is for safety and accountability so that we can know who is on our lot and where they are. There are times where we need a particular vehicle for one reason or another. There are also times where we need to know if the person's authorized to be on our campus and parked in our spaces.
Mr. Hauser said if you are planning to get your intermediate license soon, you can contact the front office to get assigned a parking space. If you haven't already booked a photographer for your senior pictures, time is running out.
For all students who are not able to book a photographer, there will be a last chance senior picture photo shoot on October 25th. All students attending will have to pay a $20 fee.
Seniors can find the sign-up link and info for the photo shoot in the Seniors 2024 Google Classroom. As school is starting, the most important thing is student safety. At MCHS, every student entering the building has to go through a weapons detector. In the morning, students walk through the weapons detectors, and if one student sets off one of the detectors, a staff member will search them. Chromebooks and binders have set off the detectors so far, but the SROs, including Officer Kopiski, hopes they're deterring not only weapons, but vapes and other items.
I think weapon detectors are a really good thing that we've got going at the school. It just gives everybody a little bit more safety, and it keeps everybody safe here.
Just a reminder, keep your laptop, big binders, and anything else that may set off the weapons detectors out of your backpacks in the morning.
There's about to be another championship trophy in the case. McCracken County's culinary students competed at the Kentucky State Fair, taking first place in the egg competition. Mustang TV's Maddie Hayes was there.
4 culinary students took a trip to Louisville to compete at the Kentucky State Fair. They competed in 2 different competitions, including an egg competition and a farm-to-table junior chef competition. Spencer Carty was one of the chefs in both of them. He says that he liked the experience because he grew relationships with the group.
We just became better friends overall, and we got really close.
These students placed 4th overall in the junior chef competition. Though there was a judging mishap on Thursday, the students still went home with positive attitudes and showed great sportsmanship. Ashley Woodruff said she felt proud of her students.
Our group really showed the type of character that they have. Our competitors on stage at the time, one of the girls could not continue the competition. They only had 2 competitors, and so they were down to 1. Well, our team really stepped up and offered to help them, offered to do their dishes, offered to clean their part of the stage afterwards, and everyone just commented on how wonderful these students were, not only as teen chefs, but also just as human beings and people, and that made me the most proud of any teacher that there could ever be.
Stay tuned for more information on culinary. If you have any questions or are interested in the culinary pathway, you can contact Ashley Woodruff at ashley.woodruff@mccracken.kyschools.us.
MCHS has added a new pathway to our school this year. The criminal law pathway is ran by Miss Chancey Coleman. Mustang TV's Sydney Hughes and Sabrina Stinson get to know more about the pathway.
Pre-law added to the criminal justice pathway, it allows students who are interested to start their education earlier. Ms. Coleman teaches Intro to Law, Criminal Law and Procedures, and Intro to Criminal Justice. She works alongside Mr. Whitworth in this pathway.
When I came in for my interview, they asked me if I would be interested in teaching law or, because I also have a background in history, and obviously I went to law school, so I'd rather teach law. It's more fun and I know more about it. So I think that's when they started to pursue the idea of the criminal law pathway.
This year are already enjoying this pathway, including junior Savannah Winscombe.
Yes, I do enjoy the criminal justice pathway.
Only 4 classes have been included this year. However, more are expected to be added in the coming years.
Hello class, I'm Dr. Professor, PhD. I studied at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and today's lesson will be all about chickens. From their origin 66 million years ago, all the way until modern day. Only the most incorrect history will be presented in my class, Incorrect History 101. Going all the way back to the Cretaceous period, when an asteroid crashed into the Earth, subsequently sending the world into a deep ice age, killing most dinosaurs. However, this asteroid is believed to have carried a radioactive substance all the way from the Andromeda Galaxy. This residue mixed with the genealogy of fallen leaves from the ash tree. Mere moments later, the first chickens emerged. They proceeded to dominate the world as the leading predator, top of the food chain, tyrants of the animal kingdom for 66 million years. During the Stone Age and the rise of humans, cavemen domesticated chickens, who proved to be a jack of all trades, used for travel, food, clothes, combs, and asserting dominance. Traditionally, the size of the chicken would reflect the status and the power of the caveman who commandeered it. Funny enough, archaeologists have found caveman paintings depicting the first instances of gambling. Cavemen would bet different rocks they collected, and a chicken would dance in circles until it was dizzy. When it was sufficiently dazed, whoever's direction the chicken stumbled in would be declared the winner and take all the rocks. Chickens and humans lived in harmony. Some chickens took occupations as assistants to plague doctors during the bubonic plague, and some were emotional support animals for famous political leaders throughout history. George Washington had a chicken named Gregory, and very few people know about King Henry VIII's 6 chicken wives. However, the next notable event in chicken history would be World War I, where they played a key part in the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The assassins distracted Ferdinand with a marvelous Trojan chicken, emulating the Greek Trojan horse. Afterwards, chickens were valuable soldiers in the ranks of the Germans. In fact, it was actually a chicken who argued the conditions of the Treaty of Versailles in favor of Germany. As for modern day, in Gotham City, the Wayne family found their fortune on the backs of chickens. In response to their cruelty, the chickens started an insurrection and ambushed the Wayne family in an alleyway. Only Bruce Wayne made it out alive and swore vengeance against all flightless birds. That's why he hates Mr. Penguin. And within MCHS, chickens are constantly developing new curriculums to enhance your school experience. Remember to show your gratitude to chickens by greeting your teachers with a respectful balk.
Welcome to Mustang TV News. I'm Asher Shanks. MCHS has introduced several new things this school year, one of them being a new intramural sport. The sport pickleball is starting to grow in popularity around the U.S. and is now being offered at our school. MCHS is inviting both students and teachers to join. The meets are on Wednesdays after school at the tennis courts behind the baseball fields. Mr. Edwards runs intramural sports and shares what pickleball is all about.
A mashup between ping pong and tennis. And so it's on a shorter, smaller court than you can actually fit 2 courts on a normal tennis court.
If you are interested in joining, you can scan one of the QR codes hanging up around the school. Our McCracken County varsity football team beat Crittenden County last week. We played away at Crittenden at 7 o'clock p.m. last Thursday, August 31st. They started off the game with an 8-0 lead, but we came back and led the game with a final score of 44-22. The team's next game is tonight, away at Mayfield High School. The game starts at 7 p.m. After a very successful season for the Mustangs boys soccer team, which saw them reach the first round of the state tournament, the team looks to improve and bring a state championship win back to McCracken County High School. The Mustangs currently sit 9th in the state, just over midway point of the season. They have started their season with dominance that has been a common sight to the team's supporters, but they still have a tough road ahead of them. We spoke with Nehemiah Ivey on what the team looks at as they continue the season.
We mostly focus on what we're doing at the moment. We like to execute properly our game we're playing now and don't think into the future because it's never guaranteed.
The boys currently look ahead to next week with very high morale on the season. Much like the boys, the girls team also has started their year with a positive trend after a loss to Marshall County in last year's regional championship. The Lady Mustangs currently sit undefeated as they near the halfway point of the 2023 season and look to be able to carry it into tournament play. We spoke with the team's captain, Audrey Haley, on what the team looks to do for the rest of their year.
Most of the time, our strategy is going to change depending on the team that we play. We'll probably stick to this until it doesn't work.
The Lady Mustangs and Mustang soccer teams look to keep up their dominant seasons as they both look to secure the title of Best in State. Our volleyball team played St. Mary this past week. The JV and varsity teams both won their matches. Make sure to be there at their next game. They play away Tuesday, September 12th against Graves County. The cross-country team has kicked off their season with 3 races over the last 3 weekends. On April 19th, the boys team placed 5th at Hopkinsville, and on April 26th, both boys and girls teams placed 7th at Madisonville. Their last race was the Callaway County Invitational on September 2nd. The boys placed 4th and the girls got a trophy for 3rd place. Their next race will be at Stuart Nelson Park here in Paducah on Saturday, September 9th.
Thanks for watching this episode of Mustang TV News.
You can find this and every other episode on our YouTube channel, McCracken County Media Arts.
Come back next week for episode 2.